Hey everyone, so today we are going to talk about how we can solve equations. This is actually algebra, okay? It's the beginning of algebra. And when you have equations and you need to solve them, you need to go in a certain order, otherwise you'll get the wrong solution, okay? And so it's called the order of operations. And by operations, we don't mean surgery. By operations, we mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Sometimes there's more than one of those going on in an equation, and if there is more than one of them, we need to know which one we should solve first, okay? And so there's this tool to help us know the order, and it's called PEMDAS. Some people just read it PEMDAS, okay? But really, the P stands for parentheses. Now, sometimes parentheses are just regular parentheses, and when you get older, sometimes you'll see ones that are actually called brackets. Okay, I don't want to confuse you, but I do want to just tell you if you ever see them. Then there's exponents. Exponents are when you have a number with squared, or sometimes you'll have the number with a little, sometimes you'll have a number with a little 3, an exponent, okay? So these are called exponents. We will learn how to use those, but for now, just know that this is the first thing you would solve. This is the second thing you would solve in an equation. Okay, then we've got multiplication or division. Now, in an equation, we would solve this next, and it's multiplication or division, whichever comes first when you're reading it from left to right. Okay, and we'll look at some examples with that. And then the last thing you would solve are addition and subtraction in the equation. And again, it's whichever, they're equally ranked, whichever comes first when you read from left to right. Okay? So, PEMDAS. Some people remember it as please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, a lot of people remember it like that. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I don't have an Aunt Sally, but that was how I was taught. I've read some funny ones today. One was purple eggplants make delicious afternoon snacks, which kind of made me laugh because I've never heard of anyone eating a purple eggplant as an afternoon snack. Okay, but I thought that was a funny one. Just to remember the order of operations. Another one, what was it? It was pudgy elves might demand a snack. That's what it was. Pudgy elves might demand a snack. So I've never heard of that before, but I thought that was a funny way. So however you want to remember, PEMDAS, because this helps us know the order. And if you don't use PEMDAS, you can solve incorrectly, and we'll look at that. Okay, so let's look at this. Now, at first glance, I just see 9 parentheses 2 times 3. I wanted to let you know here that if there's nothing there, okay, it's a question mark, what operation, you actually use multiplication. So sometimes you'll see like that 9 and then just right into parentheses. So you can assume, oh, that's a multiplication there. So this is 9 times 2 times 3, okay? So when I solve this, I want to follow the order of operations, kind of use it as a checklist. So the first thing I'm looking for is parentheses. Ooh, there's parentheses here. So I'm going to box that and solve that first. 2 times 3 is 6. And then I'm going to rewrite. So now I've got 9 times, and I already solved the parentheses, 9 times 6. Okay? And so I can write the answer to this. This was an expression, but the answer, if I solved it as an equation, would be 54. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at a different, maybe more complicated example. Okay? Let's look at, how about, let me get my marker. Okay. 18 minus 2 divided by 4 times 3 times 6. Okay? So right when you look at this, you might think like, I kind of, in my mind, I think it's a mess. Okay? And so what I used to say to my students is, it's kind of, I call these problems sometimes clean up your room. Okay? If you think about it as, it is a mess, so clean up your room. And sometimes when your room looks like really a hot mess, you just have to do a few things and it looks so much better. Okay, so we can clean this up by just doing taking a few simple steps. Okay, so let's look at the order of operation. So always go back, PEMDAS, parentheses. Now I see 2 sets of parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to solve this one, 18 minus 2, 18, 17, 16. And then I'm going to rewrite 16 divided by 4 times. Now, something I want to point out, do you notice there's a dot here? You're like, wait, what is that? Another thing that is sometimes tricky, this dot, okay, sometimes in algebra, you'll see a dot instead of a multiplication symbol. And the reason is, in algebra, they use a lot of x's as variables, and so x kind of looks like a multiplication symbol, so sometimes they'll use a dot, and I wanted to use that so you're aware if you ever see that. Okay, so now I've got it rewritten, 16 divided by 4 times 3 times 6. Okay, so I'm looking at my order, and I'm still in parentheses. I'm not out of that because I still have parentheses here. So now I'm going to go ahead, and I'll do it in a different color. I'm going to go ahead and box my parentheses, solve that. 3 times 6 is 18. And now I'm rewriting my problem from the beginning. 16 divided by 4 times 18. Okay, so look, I'm using this as a checklist. I'm done with parentheses. Exponents, I don't have any. Multiplication or division, whichever comes first when I read from left to right. That is so important. Whichever comes first as I read from left to right. Okay, so when I'm reading from left to right, 16 divided by 4, it's division first, but that's okay. So I'm going to divide 16 divided by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, and now rewrite the rest of your problem. 4 times 18. Okay, and 18 times 4, I can go ahead and work on the side really quick and solve. 18 times 4, I like to use standard algorithm. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 1 is 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got 72. So I just solved this expression, okay? And if I write it as an equation, it would be 18 minus 2 divided by 4 times 3 times 6 equals 72, okay? I do want to warn you, if you do not use the order, we can look at some examples together in class. If you do not use the order, your answer can come out incorrectly. And actually, I'll just do like a quick little side example here. Order matters. Okay, so if you look at, we'll just do like a really tiny example. If you look at 4 plus 3 times 2, okay? Just that simple example. If you look at 4 times 3 times 2, I'm going to do it the correct way first, okay? The correct way, we said, would do parentheses first. 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 plus 6 would be next, and I would get 10. So that is the correct answer, is 10. Now I want to show you how somebody might solve it incorrectly. Okay, somebody might solve this incorrectly, and I'm going to write the exact same expression down. So remember, that's a multiplication symbol if it's a dot like that. somebody might solve it incorrectly, and I want to point out that this is not the right way. This is the wrong way I'm about to show you. But somebody might accidentally, if they ignore this, they might say, oh, let me just do this first. 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 is 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 7. And then I'll do the next part. 7 times 2 is 14. Do you see how you have a different answer? Okay, so please, order matters. This is the incorrect way. This person followed the order, and even though this was later in the problem, they did the parentheses first. Okay, so order matters. I can't say that enough. Okay, let's trust our mathematicians who created this and follow the steps when solving.